Hey guys, welcome to the final week of Social Work 630. As you wrap up your theoretical concepts papers, I just wanted to give you some information regarding week 7. This week will be focused on grief and trauma. You will have two discussions for this week, one being on vicarious trauma and the other being regarding a case scenario. So here you'll see that you only have one chapter in the books this week. It's the chapter 13 of the Cooper book regarding trauma. In addition, you will be choosing 3 different articles, one from each of these 3 groups here. You will have the opportunity to learn about assessment and recovery regarding grief and trauma in the first 2 sections, and then in the last section you will learn about vicarious trauma, which is crucial to be aware of within practice. If you are aware of it, you can prevent things such as compassion fatigue or just trauma reactions to the things that you hear during sessions, and self-care is very important here. And one of your discussions is actually going to be regarding one of these articles. You also have one video this week, and the required segments are listed beneath the video. You don't have to view the whole thing, although it could be helpful to view the whole thing. It's regarding grief. So moving on to the discussions for this week, the first discussion is the common case discussion. In this discussion, we will be using the case of Anita that we used in week 2 discussions and answering these 2 questions here. Basically, question 1 is what insight you might have related to the case and how you might conceptualize the case based on what you learned about grief and trauma this week. And then the second question will be regarding interventions and theoretical models you would apply in treatment. So the first part is how would you think, and second is what would you do? Make sure you use content from this week's readings or video and cite them within the post. You will then be responding to one classmate and providing any feedback that you might have. You can indicate any similarities or differences and how you thought about the case. Moving on to the vicarious trauma post. Early in the course, we discussed boundaries and self-care, so this discussion will be a great way to wrap up the course on kind of the same note. You will be choosing one article from the 3rd grouping that I showed you previously, the 3rd grouping of articles. These articles are regarding vicarious trauma and self-care. In your post, you will provide a reaction to that article and how you might use the things that you learned in the article in practice with victims of trauma or those who are grieving. That's a key point here, as we are not discussing general self-care and boundaries as we had in the beginning, but we're discussing specifically how would you care for yourself when treating these particular issues. So use aspects from the article to inform your post and provide some specifics about how you would attend to yourself, using things that you learned in the article. You will then respond to one classmate and provide feedback. Again, you could compare similarities and differences from your perspective. You can either respond to somebody who chose the same article or someone who chose a different one. I wanted to also touch a bit on final grading. You will be able to view your final grade no later than a week after the official end of the course. If you have any outstanding assignments, please make sure you are in contact with me. All assignments will need to be submitted by the end of the course or you will receive a 0. In addition, I want to encourage you to fill out the end of course survey. The survey is a way that we can seek to make any improvements and better meet your needs as students. The only way we can do this is through your feedback. I am always happy to make any changes in order to support your learning. So I know this will be useful for me personally as an instructor as well as for the program as a whole. So as usual, the initial discussion posts are due Thursday at 11:59 p.m. and response posts are due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. You are required to do both posts. So in closing, I just wanted to tell you it was a pleasure being your instructor for this class. I hope you feel excited about clinical social work and your future in the program. I know some of the content with this course was difficult at times. I know psychodynamic theory can be difficult to grasp as there's so much overlap between the theories and they tend to be very abstract. I know you all worked very hard and it was evident by the growth that I witnessed in all of you throughout the weeks. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great week and good luck.